been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
The Balladeer? It sounds like some kind of code name. You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me? Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so...
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because... well, because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The traveler comes from a world beyond Tevat. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that, and If he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabukimono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us, the now erased life of the balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer's story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea. Paimon, Why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits! Paimon's trying to remember. What else did we put on our shopping list? Oh, what a mouth-watering smell. Paimon would know the aroma of biryani anywhere. Let's go get some. We can still add it to the list.
Well, if it isn't the Traveler and Paimon. Wasn't expecting to see you here.
Hello there. Oh, it's been quite a while.
So you two are still hanging out together. Dia, didn't you say last time that you were gonna head back to the desert?
I said I was going to resign from being her bodyguard, not that our friendship was over. We're still the best of friends. The Homayanis also still post jobs from time to time. Their pay is always generous, so me and the other mercs never pass them up.
I told Dia to just stay at our place when she took one of those jobs a few days ago. My parents were delighted. They even said that it always felt like we were missing someone whenever Dia wasn't around.
That sounds like something they would say, all right. They're always so welcoming. Anyway, the job is already taken care of, so I was going to head back to the brigade as soon as I finished a little shopping. But the master kept insisting, and I ended up staying for another day.
You can stay for as many days as you want, Dia. Father hasn't even gotten around to treating you to his best dishes yet.
You know I'm not the kind of person to stay put in one place like that, my lady. Don't worry, though. There'll always be next time.
What? She said they'll treat you to the best dishes! Paimon can't believe you can still refuse that!
But wait, didn't you say last time that you would take me on a trip to the desert? Why don't you just take me with you today, when you leave? There are so many places I still haven't visited yet.
I'm sorry, my lady, but no can do. There's still a few things I need to take care of back at the brigade. Besides, the desert hasn't exactly been the most peaceful place lately.
Oh, come on. Not this again. That's also what you said last time and the time before that.
I know, I'm sorry. Just give me some more time, and I promise I'll plan the best trip ever for you.
All right, fine. To be perfectly honest, it's not that I wanted to go, it's more like I feel like something is off about you lately. Ever since you first set foot on the estate a few days ago, you've been acting anxious and even paranoid. Have you been delaying our trip because you've run into some kind of trouble?
Nah, are you kidding? You're worrying too much.
Would you swear on that? Friends shouldn't lie to each other, you know. I wouldn't pry any further if you're willing to swear on what you just said. But if something really is bothering you, then just tell me. You know I'll help you however I can.
Oh, looks like Junior's was onto something.
You're too perceptive, my lady. Seems I can't hide anything from you. I just thought that nothing good could come out of telling you about the messy happenings of mercenaries. Knowing too much only leads to more trouble. Mercenary life is a dog-eat-dog world where Mora reigns supreme. Everything operates on a completely different set of rules.
That doesn't change anything about what I just said, though. We're still friends, and I can only support you if I understand what's bothering you.
My lady, you're not gonna stop until you drag it out of me, are ya? All right, I'll share what I know. Let's go somewhere else first. This isn't exactly the best place for a discussion. Okay, let's talk here. Just try not to draw any extra attention. As you may already know, the Eremites have both a lot of mercenaries and a complex organizational structure. Many mercs are no different than me, just going around looking for jobs to earn some mora. My brigade is called the Blazing Beasts. We're not a large group, but every member is loyal and brave. However, not all Eremite brigades are like mine. Some are willing to cross all kinds of lines for the sake of mora. The most notorious is a faction known as Deshret's Relics.
Deshret's relics? Judging from the name, they must really look up to...
Yep, you got it. I've heard that you've already crossed paths with Ain al-Akmar. They're one of the groups under the Relic's banner.
Oh, you mean the group that tried to sell us the Divine Knowledge Capsule? Yeah, they weren't friendly at all.
Deshret's Relics is composed of many smaller brigades like Ain al-Akmar. The Relic's headquarters issues orders to all brigades under his control. On any other day, I would want nothing to do with them. Unfortunately, though, the brigade that's stirring up trouble now is none other than Dakan al-Akmar.
Dakan?
I think it means beard or something. Believe me, it's a really stupid name. I found it insufferable for years. Anyway, the real issue is that Dakan al-Akmar is led by my father, Kusela.
Say what now?
I think I'm starting to understand your anxiety now. But what did they do?
I won't go into details, my lady, but they've been involved in a lot of violent incidents. We're talking hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yep. The scenes tend to be quite gruesome, too. They strip the victims of all their valuables before murdering them. Not only have they targeted merchant caravans and ordinary citizens, but other mercenary brigades as well.
That's beyond terrible. They won't even spare their own kind.
I don't know how Deshret's Relic sees it. All I do know is that Dakan al-Akmar has become more and more aggressive over the last few years. If I don't do something about them, then even my brigade or the people of Aru village could become their next target. I just wish I knew what's driven him to do this.
Yeah. How can your father do such terrible things?
I don't know. People change. He's always been pretty pathetic. But at least in the past, there were still a few lines that he wouldn't cross.
That's setting the bar pretty low.
I mean, if he was even remotely decent, then why would I have to leave the brigade and cut all ties with him? He was loud and foolish, with no real sense of purpose. Instead of doing anything useful, he spent most of his time drinking and chasing after women. Of course, the other brigade members were just like him. Their ruckus would go on night after night.
Sounds like a nightmare.
What about your mother? Did she ever step in to stop them?
Unfortunately, I never knew my mother.
I'm sorry, Dia. I didn't know.
It's all right, my lady. That's pretty common in mercenary circles. Didn't I mention that my father was chasing after women? I was the result of one of those encounters with some random person. He told me that he wasn't sure who my mother was. And in any case, she never came to see me. He'd say, "You'll be fine as long as you remember to stick with Dad." But even then, he left most of the parenting to the brigade. The one thing I do remember is that he used to tell me stories. But the problem was that he had terrible taste. He only knew a few stories, and even those tended to be pretty stale. They were tales of desert warriors defeating dragons in the forest, or stories of mercenaries rescuing princesses from rebel armies.
Sounds like your typical fairy tales.
More or less, yeah. They were interesting maybe the first or second time around, but after about 20 repeats, they started to get a little dull. He seemed to think those stories were the best things ever, though. He was so into them that he'd call the whole brigade over and make them perform the whole thing as a play. Even the toys he gave me would all be story props. I'd get helmets, shields, and toy swords. It was only much later when I realized that the shows were more for him than they ever were for me.
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, I've always found him pretty childish, but that was something I could just shrug off. I had no reason to despise him. Until I grew up and learned the true face of Deshret's relics for myself. Looting, blackmail, violence, and fraud. They not only accepted such heinous acts, they would even openly boast about them. No one in the brigade was any kind of hero. Instead, my father and his cronies were more like the bad guys that needed to be taken down. Did they really think that as long as they didn't do any of that stuff right in front of me, I would never know?
I think I can understand your feelings. The difference between perception and reality must have hit hard.
Yeah, but don't worry, my lady. It's all water under the bridge to me now. I had a huge argument with my father and left that place behind for good. I'm not investigating them due to any bitter feelings I still have towards my father. I just want to protect those that are close to me. Yeah, I told the boys to gather as much information as they could. Most of the reports concern violent incidents, but there's also some talk of smuggling.
I see. But isn't this investigation incredibly dangerous?
It is, but every mercenary lives life on the edge. It's a lifestyle that I enjoy.
That may be true, but it'll be impossible for those who care about you not to worry.
Well, now you get why I didn't want to share any of this with you.
What should we do? They both have valid concerns.
Huh? But there's no need for you to get caught up in this mess, too.
Well, he's super tough, so if he went into the desert with you, then Paimon bets the problem will be solved in no time.
I'm inclined to agree. I'd feel a lot more at ease if you took him along to help. I'll wait for news from you in the city until then. Please, stay safe.
I'm honored that you care so much for me, my lady. All right, then let's get moving. Our first stop will be Caravan Rebot, where we can catch up a bit with my fellow mercs.
We're here! What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat. Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsetias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel? Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back. Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important. Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Then let's return to the city.
Be still.
Can't touch me.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't... No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Nahida! Nahida!
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You say that you're trekking across Tevat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything. What a weird situation.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
No matter what lies ahead, I'll face it. Whatever it takes. I'm just sorry that you have to join me for the whole thing.
It's time to get ready.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Huh. Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been reading. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you can continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet?
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the delusion factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar. Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before...
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self. I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours. You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasu will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way! Hey! Are you done yet?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Insignificant past! Behold! Churn!
The wind rises. Search for it.
At my command,
Swarm Fury.
you shall fall!
Unsightly insects.
Feeble human!
Behold.
My endless cycle begins!
Swarm Fury. Upon the gale. Used to this.
Behold! Insignificant past!
How amusing. The wind rises.
Churn! You dare to gaze upon me?
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too! What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Not now.
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it. After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the sixth is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it. Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well. I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how? Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor, and I'll do everything I can to pay it back. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got anything? Have no need for these names anymore. Okay. Have you got anything? Are you sure? Okay. Have you... Are you sure? Oh, all right. If you say so.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me!
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been. No nonsense. I like it. All right, let's call it a day. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore. So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
Hold the line! Whew, it's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow, great! Huh? Look at the vase. Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate, like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
The voice has disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff? Anyway, that vase is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
Follow the wind. Time to go.
I'll have something I haven't tried yet, boss.
Sorry, sir. I'm afraid you've already tried every type of liquor we serve.
Oh? Well then, just the bill, please. It's just as well, I suppose. I do have other matters to attend to.
Kaya, you're really here! Paimon half thought you were playing some sort of prank on us.
Hey, Paimon, traveler. Looks like the gods smile upon me after all. And come now, I wouldn't joke about wanting to see my good friends.
Wait a second. You must be here on official business, right? What do you think you're doing spending every afternoon drinking at the tavern? You itching for a lecture from Dean?
Not at all. The acting Grand Master positively terrifies me. Why would I ever do anything that might displease her? The truth is, I'm in Sumeru to learn about the alcohol industry here. So despite how it might look, I'm actually at Jafar Tavern for strictly business purposes. Sumeru's spices are famous the world over, and it's long been rumored that this fine establishment was where a certain very popular spiced cocktail was invented. That's why the Knights sent me, their foremost expert in alcoholic beverages, to come and see if it is as good as the rumors say.
And how did that go?
So far, so good. I'm already in talks with some spice merchants in Port Ormos about some potential collaboration.
Yeah, that does sound like a great business opportunity. Guess Don Winery and Master D-Luke are gonna make a tidy sum from this one too, huh?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Whether this lucrative opportunity gets passed along to Don Winery or not depends on how nice I'm feeling.
Hey, using your job to settle personal grievances isn't very knightly, Captain!
Oh? What makes you say that? Very sharp of you. I wouldn't say I'm familiar, though. I just came here on the sly once, when I was very young.
And? Do continue.
Do I have to? When I said we could talk about the old times, digging up my past wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Well, all right, since you're so interested. Like I said, I was very young then. Don Winery had only just taken me in. I overheard my adoptive father talk about sending a team of merchants to Sumeru during a business meeting. I'm sure you'll agree that everyone's curious about their roots on some level. And my roots? They're in Conria, which is said to have been located deep underground, somewhere near Sumeru. And so I stowed myself away amidst the cargo and silently joined the merchant delegation on their trip to Sumeru. But it wasn't long before the merchant delegation received news that I'd gone missing. Their leader promptly found me, and before I knew it, my adoptive father was dragging me back home by the ear. It was a short-lived adventure. Sorry I don't have a more thrilling story for you. Honestly, not much. The only reason I knew that Conria was near Sumeru is because I happened to read that in a book when I was young. My life had less and less to do with Conria as I grew up, and so I started caring less as well. I used to believe that I had inherited some sort of duty from my father. But then I began to wonder. Maybe my father left me in the peaceful land of Mondstadt for no other reason than simply to give me a happier life. A happy life sounds good to me, of course, even if it means being cut off from certain things. This is obviously all speculation. Simply put, I'm afraid that I'm not particularly in the know on this topic. These days, my surname, Alberich, is probably the only link to Conria that I have left.
One death afternoon, please, boss. Tell me, what do you know about the significance of that name, Alberich?
Dainsleif?
Ah, you've decided to join us. I was wondering how long you planned on listening in. I believe I've seen you before in Mondstadt. Dainsleif, if I'm not mistaken.
So you remember me. Then we are already acquainted, Kaya Alberich, descendant of the Abyss Order's founder.
Huh?
What?
I take it that you weren't aware of this until now, Kaya. Or you wouldn't have been so forthcoming with your surname.
Oh my. That's quite a lot of baggage for a surname, isn't it? Though I must say, it does confirm an old suspicion of mine. I suppose that was why my father left me in Mondstadt after all.
I'm surprised that you take me at my word without the faintest hint of skepticism.
Well, perhaps what you told me just happens to answer some questions I carry in my memories. And in any case, I recognize your eyes. You're a pure-blood Conrian, aren't you?
Very clever. Forgive me for being direct, but I sincerely hope this new knowledge doesn't change anything. If you've already let go of your ties to the past, then keep it that way.
Kaya, you're not involved with the Abyss Order in any way, are you?
Hey, hold on now. This conversation has taken a rather sudden turn for the deadly serious. And I'm afraid that as someone from Mondstadt, I'm not accustomed to this sort of atmosphere. So what if I know my ancestry? Do I strike you as the type who would be bound by that kind of thing? Relax. I'll be just as delighted to hunt down the Abyss Order tomorrow as I have always been. Either way, looks like we're out of time. I've got a spice merchant to meet in a minute, so I'll leave the three of you to carry on the conversation without me.
Well, alright then. You go do your thing, Kaya.
See you around. And Dainsleif, no need to listen in from the sidelines next time we meet. Let me buy you a drink.
You don't really trust him, do you, Dane? You're both from Conria, but you get on like oil and water.
The fact is, I still do not know him well. It would be meaningless for me to jump to conclusions. But can a person truly be unaffected by their ancestry? This remains to be seen. Well, I suspect that they call your sister their princess, precisely because there is a succession of sorts.
Oh, so if she was the founder, she'd be the queen, right?
I mean to investigate the Loom of Fate. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, the Abyss Order's evil plan! We learned about that back in Mondstadt.
Not new. Not exactly. My memories suffer from erosion. But while I was recovering my health recently, I suddenly remembered something. Your sister. She mentioned the Loom of Fate back when we traveled together. Apparently so. I was also quite surprised when these memories tallied up. I recall that we were traveling to Sumeru when the matter was brought up.
So, you're going to the place that she mentioned back then?
Correct. At that time, they must have been introduced in one way or another to this concept. If I recall correctly, we were somewhere in a Vidya forest then.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go! Maybe we'll discover some secret that's lain hidden for hundreds of years!
No. Now is not the time. No, it's just... I'm still waiting for my drink.
Talk to the bartender if you want a drink. Everyone should check out Zubair Theater. Welcome.
What's going on? How can there be Kairagi here? There's no difference between the desert and the sea.
Welcome. Everyone should check out Zubair Theater.
What's going on? How can there be Kairagi here?
Welcome. Everyone should check out Zubair Theater.
What's going on? How can there be Kairagi here?
Add Astro.
Wait. This place, it's familiar.
What about it? It looks pretty normal to Paimon. Was it like this hundreds of years ago, too?
Yes. The forest has barely changed from how I remember it. There is very little human activity here after all. Let's search the area and see what we can find.
Is this a field? It must belong to whoever owns that house over there. But it looks like it's been abandoned for a long time. You could be forgiven for thinking nothing was ever grown here. Or, wait, maybe nothing ever was grown here. It's an extinguished bonfire. Forest rangers, perhaps? Looks like it's been ages since it was last lit. And clearly they put it out carefully to prevent a forest fire, too. That's responsible.
Nothing else stands out in this area. All that's left is that building. Come on.
Wait, we're just gonna go barging in? What if someone's home?
Unlikely. There are no signs of life in this area. We should be able to enter without incident.
If you say so. Well, you lead the way then, Dane. Huh. So there's a box over here. Why don't we open it? And by we, Paimon means you. Paimon's just scared that whatever's inside might bite her fingertips off. Huh? This is a mirror. That's kinda disappointing. Paimon was hoping we'd uncover some super big secret, especially after Dane talked this place up. Hey, look! It's a bowl! Guess whoever used to live here liked to cook, huh?
Can't you smell it? There's a heavy scent of medicinal herbs in here.
Oh, so it's a medicine bowl? Seems you're right. You've got a good nose on you, Dane. This bed looks pretty ordinary. Huh. There's nothing underneath it either. What sort of person would want to live here? It's so dark and damp. Can't be all that comfortable. Doesn't look like there's anything else worth our attention here. You sure we're in the right place, Dane?
My memories are quite foggy, but my subconscious and instincts both assert that something once happened here. But we'll exhaust ourselves if we search aimlessly. I hear noises outside. Let's go and check.
Noises? Is it...
It's not much. Just some minor adversaries.
monsters? Wow, Dane's ears are sharp, just like his nose. He's surprisingly good shape for a 500-year-old. Although, for someone who's as full of surprises as Dane, it's hardly a big deal. Anyways, let's beat up these monsters!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Not now. Cole, learn to rest and rebuild! My guiding star! My apologies!
I doubt that the appearance of those monsters was wholly random. There must be something nearby that attracted them. A ley line anomaly, perhaps. But it seems to be more than that. Okay. I'll go slightly further out to investigate any issues with the nearby ley lines. I might be a while. You should wait for me here.
What? You're going alone? You better not be trying to keep some secret from us.
Your suspicions are as banal as they are unwarranted. I merely think that this house should remain the focus of our investigation, and as such, someone ought to stay here and keep an eye on it. Not to mention that if even forest rangers are capable of investigating ley lines, I will be more than able to handle it alone.
Fair enough. guess we'll just camp out here then. Good thing there's a fireplace over there. Let's make ourselves something to eat. All this running around has made Paimon real hungry.
Let's light it up!
Your cooking is as good as ever. Even if there was no other reason, the food alone would be enough for Paimon to stick with you. Changing the subject, Dane's taking forever. He said that there might be an issue with the nearby ley lines. How bad do you think it could be? We came together, but now it's back to just being the two of us again. You know, now that Paimon mentions it, we really have spent lots and lots of time together, haven't we? So, don't take this the wrong way or anything, but, do you ever get tired of Paimon being around? Oh, you stop it! Now you're embarrassing Paimon. So, next question. Don't know if it's okay to ask this, but Paimon's curious. What was it like traveling with your sister? The stars? Wow. Yeah, Paimon understands. Being separated without even knowing the reason why, it's just terrible. But we'll find the truth together. Sure as Paimon's your guide. Just you wait, Heavenly Principles, and you too, Teyvat. You know what? We've talked too long about this sad stuff. Let's talk about something happy instead, because if you're sad, Paimon will be too. All right. It's getting dark, so why don't you rest? Paimon will take first watch. Don't worry, no monster's gonna come and eat you up. Oh, come on! Don't say that! Paimon just wants to look after you for once. Nighty-night. Go on, shoo! Off to sleep!
Hey, time to wake up. The sun has risen. What a deep sleeper. You do know that we need to... Tear stains. You dreamed of your sibling last night, didn't you? All right. Rest here a bit longer then. I'll head into the forest to investigate.
Halt! What do you think you're doing?
This place is not whatever you think it is. Nor should you be poking your nose into my business. Begone! Your travel companion. You mean the one that was keeping watch by your side last night? Your companion departed for the forest early this morning. That much I saw with my own eyes. What business is that of yours, hmm? All you need to know is that I claimed this place first, and what I do here is none of your concern. Do I make myself quite clear? Leave. Well, what are you waiting for? If you must, suit yourself. I've been observing you, and you don't look like a forest ranger, nor someone from the academia. Still, I'm warning you, no funny business. Promise me that, and you can do as you please. Okay, fine. Whatever. Just move aside. I'm heading in. You... Oh, go on then. Have it your way. I knew I wasn't going to be able to hide this anyway. Just come in. But no overreacting to anything you see in here, okay? Come on then. Mind your own business. And don't worry, he isn't aggressive. How could he be? He was too young for anything like that. So don't you lay a finger on him. Just find yourself a corner to rest if you're tired or cold. Huh? You know Conria? Who are you, exactly? And how do you know I'm from Conria? Do you worship a god, traveler? Sounds like you've had an eventful life. All right, well, my name is Ida, and you are correct. I was once Conrian. I apologize for my earlier hostility, but you must understand, as far as I'm concerned, humans who do not worship the Seven are nigh extinct. And all who place faith in the gods are my enemies. That may be. But the fact is that chances to talk to people like yourself have been few and far between since the cataclysm. This wretched curse of immortality. Who knows how long I must continue to suffer like this? The curse. It was a little gift given to the people of Conria by those vile gods. We lost our home, our loved ones, everything. The agony of the cataclysm itself was already too much to bear, but then came the curse, robbing us any chance of release. All we can do is watch helplessly as our souls erode and our bodies decay. Because
Although Conria began with a single bloodline, it was a home to others too. Any who forsook their gods and came to Conria were welcomed as our fellow citizens. When the cataclysm came, we pure-blood Conrians were declared the greater sinners. Upon us the gods placed the curse of immortality. But those whose ancestry belonged to the domains of other gods were punished with the curse of the wilderness as they fled, turning them into monsters. He is Kari Bear, my illegitimate son. How times have changed. I can say that out loud with no consequence now, but it was once a matter of unspeakable shame. I was a noble of Conria. I resented the life that my family had arranged for me. Then, one day, I met a beautiful woman amongst the people. Her roots were in Mondstadt, but that mattered not to me. It was love at first sight. Kari Bear faced great hardship from the very moment of his birth. All due to my selfish desires, and I was never able to be there by his side for any of it. After all that, he turned into a hilichurl right before my very eyes. I always owed him much, and now at least I can finally be close to him. She was. We were separated. I do not wish to dwell on it. It could be worse. I suffer the pain of loss because I once had everything I could wish for. And now that I have lost almost everything, the little that remains I see with new clarity. If nothing else, at least I still have Kari Bear. Yes, that reminds me. I only returned here to check on Kari Bear, but I do have other things I wish to do. You may come with me, if you're so inclined. Over here. I'm sure you're wondering why I brought Kari Bear here to Sumeru. Well, it's because he needs a medicine that can only be made here. One which will help him to recover his clarity of mind. I do not hope to break the curse. I am well aware of my powerlessness against the punishment of the gods. But it is said that this medicine is imbued with the power of Sumeru's god of wisdom and can awaken the mind from a state of deep stupor. It has been used in the past to treat cases of mania. I believe that it might just work. I read about it in a book. From the Royal Library of Conria. It was banned. I mean, since this medicine requires the power of the Seven to work. In my youth, I disliked the life of nobility and craved excitement. I was leafing through some forbidden text and happened upon it.
What other choice do I have? What exactly would you have me do, huh? The gods have already punished us. What does one more sin matter now? Never mind. As long as you understand. I'm sorry. I struggle to take control of my mood sometimes. Perhaps a consequence of having lived too long. As it happens, I am in dire need of some help to make this medicine. My hands don't have the dexterity they once did. I fear they may be decaying from within. All thanks to this curse of immortality. Okay. To start with, take this ingredient. Also, do you have any of Sumeru's regional specialties on hand? I believe they're called Palata lotuses and Sumeru roses. Oh, wonderful! Oh, in that case, we have everything we need. This is the method for making the medicine. You just need to follow the steps.
Boring!
Without your thank. Is it done? Oh, splendid. Let me see. In all honesty, I do not know what the end product is supposed to look like. The banned book didn't feature any illustrations. Well, the moment has finally arrived. Curses. No! We need to perform one final step to complete the medicine. I said before that this medicine relies on the power of the God of Wisdom for its restorative effects. Which means we must pay a visit to a statue of the Seven. Let's go. Bring the medicine with you. Look at this statue. How can I bow before this thing? God of Wisdom, look at me! I will utter no prayer, nor will I sing your praises. You and your kind destroyed my home, wrought unfathomable suffering on my compatriots, yet here I stand before you. You cannot mock me more than fate itself already has. God of Wisdom, I seek not to disavow myself of the sinful blood that flows through my veins. I wish only to beseech you to have pity upon a young and unfortunate soul. My son, Carabert, He was turned into a monster before he had the chance to witness anything beautiful in this world. This is no fate for a child. If everything the gods have done was in order to have the impious people of Conria bow their heads, then I bow to you now. I have given up all I ever stood for. All I ask is for a tiny miracle. For Caribert to see this world once more. Please, God! I beg of you. I have made quite enough of a fool of myself for one day. Let's go. Caribert? We've prepared the medicine. We might as well try it. Caribert, it's me. It's your father. Caribert. Caribert, please, say something. I'm sorry I couldn't be at your side when you were born. And that I failed to reach you and Mama in time when you both were suffering. But I'm here now. Papa's been by your side all these years. I've never left you, not once. Are you still angry with me, Caribert? I know you're awake now. Do you not want to talk to me? I'm so sorry, Caribert. Forgive me. Please, say something, anything. Please. Please. Oh, gods above! What more do you want from me? You took everything from here, and I still bowed to you. I'd give you my very life if only you cared to take it. But you won't even let me die. I knew it. I should never have trusted anything that had to do with the gods. I was just deluding myself. The gods of this world have never stood with humanity, not even for a moment. Other reasons. What do you mean? Huh? You really think so? Give up? No, never. And yes, you're right. I cannot let myself wallow in despair. Even if I must stay here with him for 50 years, 100, what difference does it make? I do not lack for time. Let's go. We'll make another dose. The most crucial ingredient in this medicine is the unusual mushroom, which makes things complicated, but not impossible. I grow them in that field. The details don't matter, right? Curb your curiosity and just do as I instruct. If you truly wish to help me, that is how you can do it. There is a waterfall near the statue I prayed at. I need you to collect some water. I'll be here, watching Kari Bear. Once you're back, I will make some fertilizer for the mushrooms. Good. Then please head over when the time comes.
Useless. Boring.
Ah, you're back. Kara Bear's condition is stable. By which I mean he still isn't responding. Anyway, give me the water. I need you to stand guard here for a while. Whatever you do, don't let any forest rangers approach the house. Understand? Ah, good. I'll be back soon. The fertilizer won't take but a moment to make.
Teamwork is dreamwork.
Barbados, guide us.
Stabilize.
Disappear. Worthless. Here. Worthless. Worthless.
Solidify.
Everybody stand! Go
Lament. Worthless. Here.
What happened? Was it monsters? Oh, thank goodness you were here. I couldn't have taken them on all by myself. I'd have to hide and wait until they were gone. Oh, yes, I've got the fertilizer. The effects can take some time to kick in, so let's get on with it. Next, we pick the mushrooms and repeat the same steps as before to make another dose. I trust you still remember the method. Oh, sorry. I just, after resting in this field for a while, my thoughts began to wander. I have been so very wary for many years. If only I could fall asleep here in this field and never wake up again. I do indeed. That's why it was just a fleeting thought. Thank you for your help once again. And now, for the final step. Back to the Statue of the Seven.
Boring!
We're here. Let's be... Wait a moment. Hey, what was that? Cory Bear! Oh no, he must have left while we were too busy preparing the medicine to notice. Come on, we have to catch up with him.
Useless!
That's not Cory Bear. Right. Cory Bear's scarf was a gift I once gave to his mother. I use it now as a marker of sorts. My eyes must be going. How could I not recognize my own son? This decrepit body of mine. Ah, yes. It doesn't seem interested in us in the... Yes.
Useless!
Did it go in here? What a ghastly place. Has it always existed? I swear I've never noticed it before. Huh. It looks like they're, worshipping. Sometimes walking, sometimes kneeling in worship, and it appears to be in earnest. I've never seen anything like this in all my life. What in the world does this place conceal? Oh, there's only one way to find out.
Boring! Let's light it up!
This is order. Stabilize.
Useless.
Is this a teleportation device? What energy is powering it?
Order guide you. Gather!
Let's light it up! I'm going in! I swear by my sword!
Disappear! Here!
Adventure time!
Yeah!
How did I get on the ceiling? Did the room turn upside down? Or gravity itself? It seems like I need to find a place to insert the rune.
Boring! Boring!
Halt, humans! Fate has not granted you the right to enter this place. Do you insist on an audience? Very well. Then I grant you the trial of destiny.
Stabilize!
Boring! Everybody stand back! Let's...
This is order.
Cold suffering.
Solidify!
I'm going in! You missed! Here! Worthless! Worthless! Useless!
Stabilize!
Let's light it up!
Who was that? He was a perfect being. I'm in awe. He had the most wondrous aura, a perilous yet beautiful power. Oh, truly mesmerizing. And yet, you were able to defeat him. Oh, your strength is greater than I had imagined. Let's continue on. I find myself growing more curious by the second and more excited. I think we've made it to the end.
Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For fear of the unknown? Or for power that you covet? Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For I am no god. I am but a sinner. You are like a flower, born in sin, yet pure, spotless. I know your fate well. You need no longer hold back your resentment, nor accept the countless lies. Go forth, become a transcendent one, rise beyond the fate bestowed upon you. And I shall shed a tear at the end of time, as I gaze back upon your life.
What just happened? When I saw that thing, my heart was instantly at peace. I was overcome by a sense of awe, Or joy, perhaps. I am. I feel good. In fact, I feel better than I did before I came in here. How peculiar. Oh, is that so? All right. As you... Cory Bear! Oh, thank goodness! He's still okay. I have a strange feeling that what just happened was meant to be. For this to happen, right at the moment when I was dreading worshipping at a statue of the Seven, it's as if fate was calling to me. You say that I bowed before that thing, so perhaps it might be just as effective. I have to try. No matter what, you said it yourself. I have to exhaust all options. Cory Bear?
Papa?
Cory Bear? Oh, my goodness, it worked! It's a miracle! Oh, Cory Bear, my dear son! You see, it worked! Cory Bear can speak again!
Where's Mama?
Mama is... Cory Bear, look at me. Do you know who I am?
Of course. Your Papa.
Yes! Salvation! Sweet salvation! Yes, yes, this is what this feeling is. How do you feel, Cory Bear? Are you fully awake now?
Yes. It feels like I just woke up from a long, long sleep. I dreamed that I was hiding in a little room. I didn't dare go out the whole time, and I didn't want to either. Wait. My body! What happened to me? Is this me? Papa? What's happened to me?
Don't panic, son. It's just... While you were sleeping, we went into a fairy tale world. There's no more Conria here. No more home. But, do you know what that means? No more red sky. No more end of the world. In this world, you have to be a little monster, but you get to stay with Papa forever.
Am I dead?
No, of course not. Look, Cory Bear, you still have Mama's scarf on your arm. That means she's watching over you, protecting you. So how could you be dead?
Really?
Yes, really. You've only just woken up, and this must all be very confusing for you. Just rest here for now. Things will get better. Oh, and, you have to promise me something. Never take off your mask. Understand? Whatever happens, you mustn't take it off.
Okay, Papa. I won't. I promise.
Not since that day have I been so glad as I am now. I can't believe this is really happening. I knew that placing my hope in the Seven was a waste of time. I even worshipped at one of their statues like a common fool. Never before have I humiliated myself like that. Once a murderer, always a murderer. I was naive to think that the gods who conspired against us would ever offer redemption. But the god we saw in that cave, now that was a truly mighty god. Nothing like one of the seven. That wondrous power, it was truly enchanting. Surely that must have been the reason I bowed down. Now then, after one beseeches a god, and the god responds by answering their prayers, should they, do something to show their devotion? Piety is hardly my area of expertise. A sinner? Oh, don't be absurd. You don't know a single thing about him. How dare you utter such blasphemy? You and I have both witnessed his divine power. When has the seven worked a miracle like this before? Never! He is a god, mightier than they, and yet you would call him a sinner. Oh, preposterous! No matter. Believe what you will. You cannot shake my faith. I am going to pay my respects with or without you.
Useless. Boring.
Barbados, guide us.
I will have order.
Let's light it up.
Solidify!
Boring.
No. Impossible. What happened? The Hilly Churl worshippers have disappeared too? Was it all an illusion? That's true. Yes, it can't have been an illusion. I still feel that awesome and wondrous power flowing through my mind and body. It was neither illusion nor coincidence, and certainly no dream. It was a wonder. Yes, a divine wonder. Let's go, traveler. There is surely a reason for its disappearance, and I do believe that someday in the future we shall see it again. Could he really have been a sinner and not a god? Kari Bear? Where has he gone? Oh, no, no, no. Maybe someone else came by and found him? No, no, it can't have been that. There's no sign of a break-in and no sign of anyone having been here. This does not bode well. What if he's spotted by a forest ranger or an adventurer in his current state? They'd... Wait a minute. This isn't how we left it. Oh, no. Did he... The mirror, it's broken! He must have taken his mask off and seen what he looks like beneath it. If he'd just done as he was told! We have to find him. It's his scarf. He dropped it. Looks like we're going the right way. Come on. Kari Bear! Kari Bear! Where are you? Curses! Forest rangers.
Hey! Who are you? We haven't seen you around here before. What's your business here?
Have you seen a hilly churl? A hilly churl should have come past this way. Have you seen it?
I asked you first. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be.
I said, have you seen a hilly churl?
Hey, whoa. Look, sir, there's no need to get so worked up. There are hilly churls everywhere. What's the big deal? We see plenty of them out here.
Exactly. Matter of fact, we just took out a few of them back there. Those dumb boneheads.
You... Forest Ranger scum! You spawn of the Seven are all the same! I'll have your heads if you so much as laid a finger on Kari Bear!
You're raving mad! You've got some gall coming here to our nation insulting the forest rangers!
Curse you all, forest rangers!
I don't get it. Why make such a huge fuss over a few hilly churls? Makes no sense.
He'd only just regained his mind. How could you do this to him? So tell me, forest rangers, did you really spare none of them? Did you really take out every last hilly churl you saw?
Jeez, you're really not gonna let this go. Fine, you weirdo. If you must know, I happened to cross paths with a solitary hilly churl when I left the team to, use the toilet. I was frightened at first, but it didn't seem to have any interest in me at all. It was just bumbling along in that direction, so I left it alone. Yes!
Wait, you're leaving? Not even a thanks for the info, goodbye?
Useless.